What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another great episode of Buzz with your boys, Brandon and Jacob. And listen, this is going to be nothing but straight meat and potatoes today for you guys. Nothing but straight football talk. And we're going to dive right in to some very controversial stuff that Brandon loves to talk about, college football playoffs, the 12 teams. We got the 12 teams. Indiana's the 1 seed. Ohio State's 2. Georgia's 3, and shout out Texas Tech at number 4. Those are your top 4 seeds that get the bye. And then this is where things get a little dicey. We're going to get there, Brandon. Brandon's going to get there because he's got his stuff. We got James Madison at 12. They're going to go up against Oregon. That's probably going to be a massacre.
Yeah, that's
G5,
pretty much a bye week.
Yeah, pretty much bye week. Then you got Alabama and Oklahoma. Okay, it's going to be a rematch from the regular season where Oklahoma got by Alabama. That should be a banger of a game. Especially after the bad taste of Alabama losing to Georgia where they couldn't catch anything. Like nothing. So, and then you got Tulane and Ole Miss with no head coach.
Again, really pretty much should be a bye week.
And then you got the University of Miami against Texas A&M. That should be a solid game too, as well.
So we have 2 out of the 4 first-round games that will be good.
Yes.
Because we have G5 schools making it in. And if y'all don't know what G5 means, it means a lesser conference than the Power 5. I didn't quite know what that means. Looked it up. That's what that means.
Yep. Lesser conference. And a lot of people feel like, and no disrespect to Tulane and James Madison University, and I'm with a lot of people. I just don't think that they really deserve to be in the college football playoffs. I'm sorry. And Brandon and I were sitting here, and we were kind of looking at the 12 team, and Brandon and I are both in agreement that the 12 team is just no good because, again, you got 2 good games and then 2 crappy games. And if you really look at it, Georgia's probably got the easiest schedule to get to the semifinals. I mean, it's either you get Tulane or Ole Miss, and whichever one they get, they're going to dog walk them. It's Georgia.
Only in the sense of that it is Georgia, but if Ole Miss University decided to let their head coach throughout the playoffs, then Lane Kiffin, then no, they have a strong path, a good path to go through. But he's gone, so who knows what Ole Miss is going to look like with some of the staff missing and the head coach, the leader of their men, gone. Yeah. So Georgia actually kind of got a favorable matchup path to the semifinals by being knocked down to a 3. But so the G5 conferences are referred. Let me find them here. Is considered the American Athletic Conference, Conference USA, the Mid-American Conference, and the Mountain West Conference and the Sun Belt Conference are all considered G5 conferences.
Yep.
Which is a la like my man over here said, Tulane and James Madison last year, like Boise State. They're a lesser conference, and that's not a knock to them. They're still a D1 school.
It's just they can't compete with these teams.
But they don't have the facilities. They don't have the money.
No.
And it's kind of like it's like a pity amount. It's like pity money to give them. Like, hey, you have a program. Hey, we'll allow you
in. $4 million
and here's $4 million for your conference. Because that's how it's spread it out. So here's $4 million for your conference for making the playoffs, but you're guaranteed a spot anyways. And unfortunately, not sorry, but it's like you said, it's not basketball where there can be upsets that happen.
That's not happening in football. I'm sorry. Small time schools are not upsetting big ass programs in college football. That's not this. Like I said, this is not basketball where you can have a Cinderella story. There's not a Cinderella story happening in college football.
I would say if you had 100 games played from the G5 schools to the quote unquote, I mean, you have teams. I mean, they're ranked in the top 25, but they're in the 20s or the low teens. So you're a solid program, but you're going against number 5 Oregon, a top 10 ranked program. You're going against Ole Miss, another top 10 program in the power rankings. You getting dog walked.
Yeah.
And so it's just really unfair to the public that wants to watch it. It's unfair to those programs. And I feel like there needs to be a different way to be able to reward the G5 conferences
Yeah, they got
for being in the top 25 in
You
general.
got to come up with something a little different. But Brian and I were sitting here talking, and like, you're gonna do 12 teams. You got to put the best 12 in. If not, we need to shrink it down to 10 until we can get rid of the G5 schools. But I mean, that would have to rework it a little bit. Brandon and I always agreed that.
Well, I don't think you have to shrink it down to 10.
Okay.
I think you just can keep it at 12, but you remove allowing the G5 automatic bids, the best two G5 conferences who wins in. You remove them because, like I said, there's 5 of them. You take the best 2. I think if you remove them and you replace them with the top 12 power ranked teams, I think we're cooking with something. Yeah. Because in this case, we would get the Notre Dame and we'd get the BYU Cougars in the college football playoffs, which a lot of people thought the BYU, they were snubbed. Notre Dame, obviously, they're big crybabies because they got left out. They're not in the conference. Yeah. And so they got left out because Miami got in because Miami beat Notre Dame, which I'm pretty sure everybody agrees. I played you during the regular season. I beat you. Yep. We have everything statistically and power-wise is the same, but I got you. So I should be in over you, which Miami did. Yep, they did. Which rightfully so. So I think they got that right. But if they allowed the best 12 teams in, this playoff system potentially wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, because you have great matches. Because again, you would have removed James Madison and Tulane, and you would have entered Notre Dame and BYU, and I think you would have had a very, very college football. You would have did that. You would have had Brandon on board with your 12-team college football playoffs.
Well, I mean, potentially, because like then you would have Oregon, number 5, versus like BYU probably would have been 12. Yeah. And then you would have Ole Miss versus Notre Dame, which would have been a good game as well. Yeah. Now, who knows how? Nobody knows how those would have played out. But like those would have been like everybody would tune into those.
Flip either of those are still great matches.
Well, yeah, you could flip them from Notre Dame to 12 and BYU to 11, but BYU and Notre Dame were both 2 left out.
Those are the college football playoffs. Those are the games, like I said, we gave you. But we need to talk about Notre Dame. They're not in a conference, so everything that they make money wise is for them, and they pretty much, as Brandon told you, when they found out they didn't make college football, they cried. They soaked their underwear. They played the pity party, and we're not playing in a bowl game. No, not like that. Cool. I guess that's one way of looking at it. So other teams followed suit as well and opted out of bowl games. Brandon, we'll get us to them.
So there was multiple teams that opted out, but personally, if I'm a football player looking to go, and I see Notre Dame, a 11-win team, and you opted out and you're trying to recruit me, but you don't want to play in a bowl game, I'm like, there's no guarantees that you will ever go on to the next level, and so the bowl game is like the highest of the highs. Mm-hmm. I have a little bit of problems going to a prestigious top a power school like you, and you're not even willing to play in a bowl game.
I don't know if it was the players. It pretty much felt like it was the head coach of the AD.
I felt like it was the university that it said nah for Notre Dame, and I feel like at this day and age, I feel like players, like we've said last week with Ole Miss, I feel like the players probably wanted their head coach.
Because I understood why if you opted out of a bowl game because you weren't getting paid, you didn't want to get hurt now you're getting paid. So like you get hurt, cool, you're still getting paid. Like there's no and players are staying in college longer now. They're not leaving and going because you're making money. So there's more benefits to play in the bowl game because if I play well.
But I do think it's weird that we haven't really heard from no Notre Dame players speaking out about not playing. But like you said, my guy, we have some college football teams that turned down bowl game invites. Yes. Like I said, Notre Dame turned it down. My bad. They were not 11-win team. They were a 10-2 team. Then Iowa State turned it down, who was 9-4. Kansas State, a 6-6 team, they turned it down. Yep. But then we jumped to Florida State, Auburn, UCF, Baylor, Arkansas Jayhawks, which I was a little kind of sad about. I meant more like them turning it down, which I get because they don't have a roster because a lot of people at the portal, which is for a lot of these 5-7 teams. Rutgers and Temple are all 5-7, turned down bowl game invites.
Mind you, those are all the teams that turned down bowl invites but only 2 teams were fined for turning
which
that.
is the Big 12
Big 12.
Conference fines Kansas State and Iowa State $500,000 for opting out of bowl games, which to be bowl game eligible, you have to win at least 6 games. That's what makes Florida State, Auburn, UCF, Baylor, Rutgers, Temple, and Arkansas Jayhawks funny that they got bowl game invites because teams above them opted out because they only won 5 games.
Now, Brandon and I were sitting here talking about how K-State and Iowa were fined.
Iowa State
were fined $500,000. And, like, Brandon's like, Notre Dame should be fined. And I literally looked at Brandon, who's going to fine them? They're not in a conference. They have there's no structure for them. There's no above all for them.
So my rebuttal back is the NCAA should fine them.
Yeah.
They should ban them. They should do something to them because there's no government holding them accountable for opting out of a bowl game.
Brandon, you also found something that the Notre Dame and the College Football Committee committed to. That is very interesting. I need you to listen to this because this is wild right here.
So we also, as you guys now know, or you didn't know, but now do know because you guys tuned in, that Notre Dame did not make the college football playoffs and they opted out of the bowl games. So Notre Dame athletic director Petey confirmed to Yahoo Sports Ross that there's a special language in the memorandum of understanding Notre Dame signed with the college that Notre Dame signed. Let me emphasize that Notre Dame signed with the college football playoff last spring. Starting next year, the next college football cycle, Notre Dame is guaranteed a playoff spot if it is ranked in the top 12 of the final college football playoff rankings. And the same situation from this year happened. Next year, Notre Dame that was ranked at number 11, Miami taking the last, which then Miami took the last at-large spot. Miami then would be bumped, and Notre Dame would be allowed in. Yeah. If the field eventually goes from 12 to 14 teams, and the number of at-large berths increase from 7 to 9, then Notre Dame is guaranteed in if it then finishes number 13 or better, according to the language and the contract.
Very odd and weird to me that, like Brandon said, so if you took the same situation that Notre Dame was in this year, and they lost to Miami in the regular season, and that's why Miami got the nod. If that happens next year, Miami's getting booted, and Notre Dame will be entered into the college football playoff. So what do you make of that language? Like,
I'm really surprised that actually got signed in because that's pretty much guaranteeing Notre Dame, who will be a top 15 program, top 15 ranked program every year. Because they're a powerhouse football program. They'll be top 15 ranked, top 10 ranked almost every year. If they get bumped one year, the following year, as long as they are ranked in the top 12, they're guaranteed a spot in the college football playoffs. And that's to me that's crazy. That is ungodly that they actually got that language in there just for them. And I'm cool with them being like not part of a conference, but I think they should also be punished for not having a conference game. But I do also think that for Notre Dame moving forward, I think they should look at trying to have some for conference championship weekend. They should try to. They need to have a game with one of the top 5, like one of the teams, one of the teams out of the SEC or the ACC or the Big 10 or the Big 12 to play against that missed out on playing the conference championship game. That's that's ranked in the top 10 in the power rankings. They should play. There's no downside. If you're Notre Dame and I'm, say, Texas, and I beat you, then I'm looking like, boy, I should probably be in this playoffs. And it's to show that if you beat me, it says, okay, because Texas this year was kind of on the fringe and they got left out. Yep. Or even better, I'm BYU and I beat you, then looks like I should be in and you should be out. And so I think Notre Dame should maybe look at trying to add an extra game so they can still showcase their talent.
That would be a very solid.
Because it's benefit to both sides. There's no downside for Notre Dame playing another game.
Yep.
because that's the big thing is like, well, Bama, Georgia, they had to play another game, and Bama didn't look their greatest against Georgia, but Bama and Georgia, they split this year. They went 1-1. So really, Notre Dame should have called up Miami and said, "Let's go, let's play, let's settle this out and see who gets this final spot."
That would have been
Like, I mean, who would have said no?
I would have loved
I mean, like, really, if it kind of Miami, like, I kind of could say no because, like, I know I'm probably getting because I already beat you.
Yeah.
But again, I think Notre Dame should add a quote unquote conference championship weekend game.
Yeah, call somebody up that's not going to be in and like, let's go. Like, it's a win-win for either side.
Because if I beat you and you're ranked in the top 12, just because of the show, I just be a top 12 ranked team.
If they're going to show up, I mean, you got to show up, and you're going to get a great football game. And so, but like I said, that's the college football stuff. That's our idea of what should be done. But college football playoffs are set. Games start to take place December 19th and 20th. So this week, next week, games start to take place. So that will be very interesting. But more interesting, there was a lot of coaches that were fired in 2025. Brandon, 15 fired head coaches. That's minus the Michigan head coach, which we're going to get to in a few minutes because that is a very dicey situation. But 15 head coaches were fired from LSU, Kentucky, Michigan State, Florida, Auburn, Oklahoma State, California, Arkansas, Penn State, Virginia Tech, UCLA, Oregon State, UAB, Coastal Carolina, and Colorado State. The lowest payout was Colorado State at $1.5 million, and the highest payout was Brian Kelly at LSU for $54 million, which would have been James Franklin from Penn State when he got a new job, which did lower that to only $9 million. So, but a lot of head coaches were fired this year in college football.
A lot of no-name teams they got fired, and then some couple big names. I mean, I think
this was a new record total. So this year, 15 college football coaches have racked up $228 million in potential buyouts from being fired. That is a new college football record total. $228 million in total money buyouts this year in college football. Don't be a head coach.
I do think we have enough knowledge between us that I think we can start being coaches somewhere and work it up there.
Let me start G5, dog. We get G5.
Dude, if you can fire me there too, you can fire me. I wouldn't even argue.
That's a ridiculous amount of coaches fired. That's a ridiculous amount of money being spent
on coaches that will not be coaching your program.
Yeah, but the one head coach, so obviously 16 head coaches were fired in total, but the Michigan head coach was not given a buyout. He was actually terminated, fired, however you want it, arrested, all in the same day. And this is I want to make this very known, this is a very wild story. So the Michigan head coach was, I guess you could say, Sharon Moore, was having an affair with a staff member.
A woman on his staff. On his staff.
Yep.
And he has a wife and 3 kids, yep. And he was, like you said, cheating with another woman. It was then found out that he was. This woman he was cheating on his wife with was pregnant. He wanted her to get an abortion. However you feel about that, you can feel how you feel about that, but she did. He then doubled her salary, and somehow through the grapevine somewhere, was I guess found out. He was then fired Wednesday, and when this was found out he was fired, him and his wife had a blow up.
Yep.
He said he was going to then kill himself. Then went to his, I guess we'll call her the mistress. But her identity is out there. It's not being secret.
Yep.
But went to the mistress house and said, "Well, I'm going to kill you before I kill me," and put a knife to her throat.
Yep.
And then he did bolt. The cops were called. He was then detained at a church
by GPS. They found him
by GPS. So obviously, like, we're always being tracked, guys. We know that. He was then detained. And as far as we still know, he's still in custody.
Yep, he's in custody in Michigan, being held for alleged assault is basically what.
Well, it's not alleged.
Well, it's not alleged.
Well, I mean,
for
I guess
sure.
technically it's still alleged until it's
But
proven,
this is just
but
a whole. This right here is just a whole mess. But it also came out the university kind of knew about the relationship, but didn't really.
so my whole thing is, it's like all this is 100% true facts. He was hooking up with somebody on his staff, but he was married, had 3 kids. She got an abortion. Who knows how she really feels about getting that abortion? But
He paid for it, but he doubled her salary.
he did not pay for
He
it,
did not pay for
but
it.
he doubled the salary. So in a way, kind of, sort of did. So like, good for her for getting money. Good for her getting that bag,
Yeah.
right? Like, I mean, like, good for her. And like, they seem like they continued on having a relationship, and then they somehow, I mean, like,
Somebody snitched. Somebody
so-
wanted.
there was a snitch somewhere, but I'm confused on why he got fired.
Yeah.
So like, Notre Dame fired him, but she hasn't been fired yet.
Yeah, no.
That's confusing to me.
Too. I agree with that. Like, why has she not been fired again? You can't fully play the victim because you went along with the affair too.
Well,
that it was wrong.
I don't really care that it's an affair part, because like, I mean, like, it's wrong. Like, you shouldn't ever, you shouldn't ever cross that boundary.
Yes.
But like, the boundary was crossed. But like, why I gotta lose my job because I had an affair? Maybe he wasn't happy in his marriage. I really don't know. But like, I'm fired. Why hasn't she been fired yet? It takes 2 to tango. It takes 2 to make a mess, and she was clearly willing, hellaciously willing in this, and she did him. I guess he did what he wanted and getting the abortion and got the salary doubled. But like, outside of that, that's the only kind of like wrongdoing he did towards like the program, was doubling somebody's salary when maybe they didn't deserve it. I really don't know what she did there for the staff.
Like I said, there's also been knowledge that the university somewhat knew about what was going on. So like I said, it's a little weird.
So
if
the new,
why'd you fire him? Or why has she not been fired? Like, did you just fire him because he lost to Ohio State? Like, is that what you're upset about? Like, what? Because you went. I think they finished 9-3. Yeah, Michigan. Where you at? They finished 9-3 in the Big Ten. They were 18th in the rankings. So it's like,
so I mean, it
wasn't horrible.
Well, they had a great season, and like, I thought maybe they had like some programs and some workplaces have no flattering clause.
He went through after the Joe Harbaugh situation where he was suspended for all that bullshit,
and he took kind of like the fallback on that.
So it's like,
but like, some like universities and some workplaces have like no flattering clause. Like, you can't date, you can't intermingle with people at your work. But if they already, like, if they're saying we knew that he probably was hooking up with her, I'm really kind of confused.
So 11 minutes ago, this was just posted by Michigan. Michigan fired their head coach Moore, who was charged with 3 different crimes. Michigan was fired. They fired him. He was charged Friday with 3 crimes, including home invasion, stalking a person he dated, and prosecutors said. So that's what he was charged.
Right, but all those charges are really wrapped into one thing. I got fired, and then I went after my girlfriend.
Yeah, I guess so.
My mistress.
She has to be fired too, because
I think that gotta be the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing. Like, he got fired. He lost his dream job at Michigan. Took all the backlash from Harbaugh, and then
the biggest problem here is we all know, and we're not gonna.
Well, like, the biggest.
He is obviously a black man. She was a white woman. So people are now painting this as, of course, the black man gets all, and that's not the picture. It has nothing to do with.
But that's fair.
I mean, it's a fair.
It's very fair. The black head coach gets fired, but the blonde white woman stays on.
Stays on.
See,
that's not a great. That's not a great look.
That smells bad. That smells bad.
It's very bad. And if I'm Michigan,
she gotta go.
This has just been bad for y'all. Like,
well, not really. They got a natty. Honestly, it's kind of karma. You cheated and got a natty, and I didn't really want to go here, but like, you cheated and got a natty, and then you should have got it stripped. Didn't get it stripped. Everybody in the world outside of Michigan fans. Everybody outside of Michigan fans, think you should have got it stripped. You didn't get it stripped. You got a slap on the wrist, some fines, and some suspensions. And then we're fast forward, and you're pretty much not nobody's. Like, you ain't doing great. This is your first great season since your national championship win that you cheated for, and now your head coach gets caught in a scandal, quote unquote a scandal. I mean, like he was cheating. Like it's very common that people cheat.
But like you said, her identity is out there. I don't know her name. I don't.
And she's still employed with
She's
Michigan,
still employed,
and that's a problem.
She's got to go. And we'll be here to tell you right now, she's got to go.
She got to go.
Again,
if he
you
has,
tangled in it too, sweetheart.
well, if he has,
you had to, again, if you're going to do grown people things, there are consequences doing grown.
Well, it's not. She didn't know he wasn't married.
Oh yeah, no.
He's the head coach. You know he's married and with 3 kids. You didn't care. The university fires him.
I met the kids in the wife at some point because you're on the staff.
Well, that's fair. Both of them got to go, and so I'm waiting for her to be fired. I don't know why Michigan hasn't fired her yet.
No, I don't. I don't like her being painted as a victim because now they're throwing out she had to get an abortion. That was a personal decision. Feel how you want to feel about that. That was still a personal decision.
She wouldn't have it done, and her salary and her large salary that she had at a university for football got doubled.
Yeah.
I just know, like, she got paid. She got the bag. Kudos to her for getting the bag. Like, nobody can hate her for getting the bag. You can feel how you want to feel about what she did, but she got the bag. But she got to go. If he's getting fired for nothing, he did nothing. Like football, university, legally wrong. He cheated, bad on his wife, but he did nothing wrong. But how's that inappropriate? There's nothing inappropriate about it legally or contractually with Michigan.
Yeah.
They're not a Christian program.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. I mean, like, he gets arrested. Players get arrested all the time, and they still come back and they play. And if you don't fire him, I don't think he freaks out how he freaks out.
Yeah.
But
probably
I digress.
Expected to come out. Somebody said something. Somebody snitched.
I mean, eventually everything comes to light.
Cream always rises to the top, baby. So, we're going to keep tuned to that and wait and see what happens there. And I guess the question right before we move on, what happens if she doesn't get fired? That's again, she's still on the staff.
Personally, bad bitch, dog. She a bad bitch to get her salary doubled. Get the head coach fired. Stays on the next staff. Bad bitch.
You gotta change your professional home record at this point.
That is damn right.
It has to be on your right.
When you see my resume,
so she's not allowed to the next head coach's house. That's all I need to know.
Shit. I think she has to be gone. I think Michigan has to make it public that she's gone to. They have to
very quickly. Otherwise, this is gonna spiral very hostilely.
It wasn't like that because it came out like it was maybe like a student or like a minor of some sorts, and then it comes out that it's somebody on the staff, and like she has to go, and Michigan needs to make it very public.
Very, very.
And anybody feels like she shouldn't be put out there. It's a dog world. You both are adults. You both should be fired and be put on blast.
Yeah. Because everything I see right here, it seems like they really fired him, like
for having an affair.
Which
is crazy work in this day and age.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll keep you posted on that as well. But that is the stuff going on in college football. Like I said, next week those games start to get played, and then we really start getting a little bit more serious and have more in-depth talks about the college football playoffs. And Brandon and I are going to be paying close attention. Because I don't think college football can afford 2 bad college football playoffs year in a row. Because last year was horrible.
It was bad. The first round was bad.
It was not great. So, moving on to the actual meat and potatoes of this conversation here of the pod is NFL football. And we are going to start with something that broke that is interesting, but Brandon's got some problems with it. After years of complaints about missed calls, inconsistency, and thin officiating pool, the NFL supposedly is ready to push for real changes to fix the problems with the officiating in the NFL. The CBA expired May 31st, or is expiring of May 31st. The league is pushing for a performance-based system that would let them reward strong refs, move on from underperforming refs, and build a deeper bench. Negotiations pick back up on December 30th for the first time in years. the NFL is ready to address the issues of officiating head on. Do you think the NFL is going to address these issues for real head on? Because you have
I
some
like
issues.
everything they said. I like officials that are getting calls right. I like officials being awarded. I like officials being paid more because as a fan, that's what I want. I don't want us jumping to replay to get something right. I want in-game calls done correctly. I like you being awarded and being paired with other officials that are getting shit right, and I want the officials awarded with bigger games. I like all of that. But what they're missing, what everybody really wants, and I think what officials want, and I hope they really do push for, and they hold out on and they get it, is I want full-time officials. I want full-time benefits. I want full-time pay. Like, you are a billion-dollar industry in NFL and NBA, but with NFL, you need full-time officials. Officials shouldn't have a second job. The reffing should be their full-time job. Now, like if they want to ref in like college, that's cool. You want like the NFL's not going on. Want to step back? You want to take? That's great. That's cool.
Yeah.
But like the full should be the NFL. This your full-time job. It should pay and benefits and retirement should be just that. It should be the NFL paying them as such and accordingly.
And then go do your day job during the week. I don't want.
Yeah, I shouldn't be hearing about refs going. I made that call. I missed that call at my 9 to 5, and then I need Thursday off because I got to go to Buffalo to ref the Patriots and Bills game. So I need this day off so I can go there. No, I don't want that. The refs should be fully immersed in the game, in the rule book, and know what is kind of like which is, and they need top to bottom, need the whole damn thing, and they need to be paid accordingly, and they need to be paid better. And if you pay the refs better, and you actually put a target on their back for like you've missed a call, they get berated for it. I think we'll get better officiating.
Absolutely.
And then there'll be less debate about, well, this game might be a little semi kind of rigged because of such and such. Well, if I'm only making like $50,000 for reffing for a season, but I also have my 9 to 5 during the week that's paying me yearly, $60,000. I might maybe slip a couple calls here and there so I can make some more money.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that the NFL needs to make full-time refs. I think everybody wants full-time refs. And you would get a better game.
Want full-time refs.
You get a better game.
Players talk about they make this call and then they go brag about it. Then they're during their regular job, like that's bullshit. We don't need that. So I think the players want that, the fans want that. In the NFL, you make enough money. You can afford to make this happen.
Pay the people.
This is not a hard negotiation right here. This should not be us going back and forth. This should be, okay, let's come out with a number. It's just talking numbers and then come to an agreement where I bring it to you, you agree to those numbers, and we sign it and we run it to the sunset. This is easy, but nothing's ever that easy, as we know in life. So, but
it should be such an easy negotiation. Like the officials in any sport, they're what makes the game great or bad. And this year, I think a lot of people can agree that the officiating has been really up and down and very inconsistent.
The officiating this year has been horrifying.
From across the board, for everybody.
There's games we've literally tuned into. We're not even talking about Chiefs games. We're taking Chiefs games out. I'm talking about just games that we turn on the TV to. And we're
in prime time.
I'm like, we can't even get into this game. Like every time something gets going, flag. Oh well, shit. I guess I can't get it.
And then like they replay it, and then they bring in the head official,
and he says something completely different.
And he was like, "Well, this isn't a flag, or this isn't a first down, or this isn't a fumble." And then the ref comes out, and he completely says the complete opposite of what the head official of the whole crew says, and it's like, well, that belittles what you said. So then, like, why is
that's the problem? Because if you're the head official, that means you've worked with those guys in some capacity. So why are they making the wrong call when you're supposed to be working with them? That's not a great look.
Isn't the bigger discussion is that we have such quick communication that if the head official on TV is telling the audience, "Hey, this call is wrong,"
I guess I've never.
And then
why can't New York just call like that's the wrong? Like, why is that such a problem? We do that in the NBA. You do it in baseball. Somebody calls down the umpire. That call wrong. we change the call. In the NBA gets called down, we change the call. In the NFL, we can't do that. Like, well, why not?
That's the whole
Like,
point.
I don't understand that.
It's the whole point of replay and having
we
somebody
get
else
it.
watching the
As
game.
a human, you're going to make decisions. You're not going to get everything right. That's why you got somebody else up there to keep an eye on you, to help you out. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that
I mean,
at all. The whole point is to get the call right.
the now the athlete is so fast and so twitchy and so big that like you're gonna miss some calls. But that's why you have quick replay up
also just like
and earbuds to buzz down and be like, hey, pick that flag up. It wasn't what you look like, and you just pick it up.
It's almost like when it comes to holding calls from like offensive linemen on defense and offense. There's holding on every play. It's just a matter of like what is the effect.
Whether or not you want to call it
or not, because there's holding on every play. But it's the holding calls that are getting called that don't affect anything about the goddamn play that you're calling. I'm like, plays on the right side of the field, but that dude's way on the left side. What the fuck did that have to do with anything that occurred on the right side of the goddamn play? Like, I don't need that. Pick that flag up and let's move on. Like, or then you're throwing flags on where it was just a great block and the dude just so strong and I have inside leverage. I took you to the ground. Well, that looked like, and we just throw them like, and we're looking back at replay. We're like, yeah, that just looks like a dude that just got pancaked. Like that's all that really was right.
Or the Chiefs and Texas game where Nico Collins just fell down and holding. Well, then we, as fans, see the replay, which then we all know you'll see the replay in the stadium, and the dude just fell down, like, and then it's holding, and I'm like, well, I don't know how that's holding because the dude falls down, but whatever you say, right?
Yeah. So, but hopefully they can get that figured out. We can get some full-time refs, and that I think that will make pretty much everybody very happy. I
just hope there's no holdout like there was a handful of years ago because the replacement refs that we got a handful of years ago was not good.
So another thing that I found out too that was interesting is we all know that the new line that was implicated by the AI or whatever we want to call it, chain gang. We got rid of the chain gang.
Well, the chain gang's on the sideline, but then we have AI that with the chip in the football.
If it's too cold, that does not actually work. They can't use it. They got to bring the chain gang out. And if the chain gang comes back out, you cannot revert back to the AI. You have to remain with the chain gang the rest of the game. I guess they had a malfunction with it. They found out in the Buffalo-Cincinnati game where the AI was not working because it was too cold. So they had to bring the chain gang people out. And it was also in the rule book or something that was said that once you bring the chain people back out, you cannot go back to the AI. So I think that's a weird thing that you having issues with it in cold weather, knowing, yeah, well, you're going to play some cold football as we get closer to playoff time.
Well, I mean, like it's his first year being implemented in the NFL, and it also doesn't work very well in the snow. And if it's very rainy or very foggy weather, depending, it doesn't actually work very accurately either. That's why the chain gang is its backup. That's why they're still implemented.
Yep.
So, like, I have no problems with the chain gang still being important in that case.
The chain gang's gonna have to go anywhere anytime soon. They're gonna hold on to their job for a little bit longer. But that's the ref stuff. That's the chain gang stuff that we need to talk about. The next thing up that is a very odd, weird situation that we're going to get to. Obviously, we feel for Daniel Jones. Was having a great year. Obviously, fractured his fibula, I believe it was. He was playing on that.
Yep.
Got a special pad made. And then, unfortunately, he tore his Achilles in a non-contact injury in the game on his other leg / ankle. He is now pretty much done for the next 9 months. And the Colts are sitting here thinking, man, we need a quarterback. Like, what are we going to do? Let's call up Philip Rivers, who's 44 years old, who hasn't played a lick of football since 2020. Bring him in. That's our quarterback going forward. Philip Rivers don't look in any type of shape, to be honest. No knock to the guy.
But to quote him, I wasn't running away from anybody anyways when I was in my prime, and he wasn't.
No. Philip Rivers has a plus 1,800 odds to win comeback player of the year, which is wild to me. Which I think is the 4th best odds to win comeback player of the year.
I mean, they end up winning the division.
Oh. Well, what do you make of this for the Colts? Do you Was there better options, or is this just the best guy that they felt like was?
Well,
How do you know? What do you make of it?
one that says a lot about AR
Yeah.
with Anthony Richardson. Like I know he apparently still on IR for a fracture eye bone.
Yeah.
Apparently, which is kind of crazy considering that happened like week 2, week 3 of the season. But okay, he's not quite ready, which I thought they would activate him and let him have a shot, but apparently he's not ready. And then outside of him, you don't really have a backup. And I mean, last time Philip Rivers was on the Colts, I mean, he did lead them to the playoffs, and they fell short. But I guess my question to you: 44-year-old Philip Rivers, or there is Cam Newton.
Yeah, there was Cam Newton who's 36, who was actually in great shape, who felt some type of way.
Again, Philip Rivers was not a mobile quarterback, so just because he's heavier than when he was when he walked out the field against Buffalo in 2020 doesn't mean he needs to be in top-tier shape 4 years later to throw a ball or hand the ball to Jonathan Taylor and let him take over a football game. But there's Cam Newton out there that is definitely electrifying and can add a level to your game, kind of like Daniel Jones does with his legs. And he got completely looked over.
It's just crazy to think, I'm trying to think, you just tell me there was just nobody out there on anybody's practice squad you could have went and got that maybe intrigued you more. I don't know. I don't know.
I really don't think. I really don't think so. I think grabbing somebody off the couch was their best bet.
Before with this regime,
and he did run the system for his high school team.
So I think that was a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know what to really make of it.
I mean, it's the same staff that when he left is still there, so he knows all the terminology.
And pretty much the same players.
And I'm pretty sure Pittman was there when he was there, and so he knows all of them. Line is solid, so it's not like he has to run.
Come in and be asked to do really anything. He's gonna be. It's a manage the game. Just don't check downs, hand the ball.
Well, he knows the system. The arm looked lively enough. His unorthodox form still solid enough to go. And
we did watch him throw in practice, and he can obviously still sling that thing. Obviously,
I mean, he passed through, and honestly, if he goes this weekend, he's just pushing back his potential Hall of Fame candidacy. But again, this is probably the best the best chance. I mean, what if he wins Super Bowl? Let's put it that way. What if he comes off 44 years old, retires, comes out, Colts wins the division?
It changes the narrative completely. For a guy that just always could never get it done when it mattered most, rather having the number one offense back in San Diego with the Chargers when he had Antonio Gates and LT with the number one defense and didn't make the playoffs or always just fell short. So, yeah, there's a lot of narratives here for him. So,
but where do the Colts go on from here? So obviously they brought Philip Rivers in. See what I mean? Hopefully, if they make a playoff run, make the Super Bowl, that's cool. That's great. See what happens. But where do the Colts go quarterback wise? Obviously, they think Daniel Jones could be their guy, but he's pretty much kind of done for next year. He won't be back towards mid to late season probably. What do you think they really kind of do quarterback going into the next year?
I would like to say AR. I think AR is the best bet. I think they have to re-sign Daniel Jones, and I would think they would do something like the Sam Darnold contract. But again, that one makes it tricky.
Even with his Achilles,
he is going to be out until
pretty much all of next year.
All of next year, potentially, but it all really depends on how he rehabs. But I don't know. It really changes things for me. I don't really know. Do you do you move off of Daniel Jones, know that he's done? Do you take a gamble like a Mac Jones, who's played solid this year, and take a gamble on that type of guy? Or do you try to turn the reins back over to AR, who we have tried to defend to our core and running out of things to defend him with, obviously. Outside of that, I don't really know where to go because, I don't know. I'm torn on what they do. It changes things for me.
I don't hate the Mac Jones thing. The Mac Jones signing there in the offseason.
For me, if you don't want to retain Daniel Jones because he got.
Well, I think why not retain Daniel Jones to something similar, paying him? But again, I think you pay him. I think you can get him less. Sign him to a Sam Darnold deal, but I think you get him lesser because unfortunately he did get hurt. but lock him into where you have him for the the following year coming off of his Achilles. But Mac Jones looked good for the 49ers. He's proven that he can lead a team with some talent,
Yeah.
with a stud in the backfield, a la Jonathan Taylor, a la on the 49ers with CMC. You go and you sign, Mac and Cheese to a nice little deal, a 1-year deal, and you bring him in to lead your team for 1 year, and obviously I think you'll have AR for 1 more year. Let him battle it out with Mac Jones, and then you have your 1, 2, and 3, with your 3 being on AR.
Over this Andrew Luck curse. They got to figure it out at the quarterback position, man. It's really been downhill. It's just unfortunate because I understand why Andrew Luck left the game, but man, it's just unfortunate that he leaves the game and then they decide to make changes to the O-line to get protection. And they just haven't been able to find a quarterback since. But they've addressed everything else.
Well, I mean, it looks like they have their quarterback. It's just unfortunate that he did tear his Achilles passing the ball. And I think their only move they really have this coming offseason is to sign Mac Jones. He looks solid enough, and I think it's worth giving him a shot next year.
You gotta take the shot with him and see what it looks like. And then honestly, if he balls out and he does lead you,
well, that's what I'm like.
Then you have another. That's why you sign Daniel Jones to just the 1-year deal.
I think you honestly I think you just bring Daniel Jones back on a 1-year deal because he's not going to play next year.
Yeah.
And you bring Mac Jones in on a 1-year deal, and Mac Jones balls out. Then you keep Mac Jones and you let Daniel Jones walk.
Yep, absolutely.
And then you move on from there, and then AR hits free agency, and hopefully he can potentially end in a spot where he can try to revamp and showcase his talent somewhere, or start developing somewhere else.
So, again, in some ways, kind of like rooting for Philip Rivers here. Like, be curious to see what he looks like. Because obviously he's probably going to play. He's going to play this coming week. He got no choice.
I don't want to see him not playing, considering the backup, I think, injured his knee last week too.
It's not great. Colts are kind of in a tough spot here, and they need to bounce back big.
But for our Chiefs, I hope they don't.
Yes, for that sake. Next thing we need to talk about, Brandon. This goes into our Week 14 recap of last week's NFL games. Kevin Stefanski, I don't know how he has a job to keep that 100 with us. He fucked over my man Shedeur, 100%. I generally don't understand how Kevin Stefanski has a job, how he was not fired pretty much when the triple zeros hit after that game. I don't know how he wasn't fired. He did not know. Shedeur Sanders absolutely balled out, becoming the first rookie this season to throw for 300-plus yards. Yes, Shedeur Sanders had 364 passing yards. Holy shit. 3 touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. In their loss to the Tennessee Titans, they lost 31-29. Shedeur led them all the way back. That final throw he had in the end zone was a beauty. Back shoulder, over the top, where only his guy could get it. Hell of a catch by the wide receiver as well. But then they go for 2 points. I'm like, okay. Then you go to watch play. Shedeur Sanders is on the motherfucking sidelines. And they had no idea what they were doing that to him. I don't know if Jenkins was supposed to hand the ball off, what they were doing. But Shedeur was on the sidelines, and then post-game interview, Kevin Stefanski's like, I make the calls. My decision. I make these calls. Nope. You made a horrible call. He was your best player. He balled out, and you had your best offensive weapon in that moment on the sidelines. I don't know what more Kevin Stefanski has to show that he does not want to see Shedeur Sanders succeed.
I just don't know if it's him
or
if it's the owner
who is it?
or what's really going on, but it's crazy to think what Shedeur could really have been if he was allowed a real training camp, a real mini camp, real first team reps through the off season, what he could potentially actually look like. He clearly with 3 games with 3 well, yes, but with about 3 games, not full 3 games, but about 3 games as the starting quarterback with the Browns, he's looked better than Daniel Gabriel. So I can only imagine what he actually looked like in training camp, in mini camp, in rookie mini camp. Like, I mean, and Shador has said all the right things.
Oh,
There's been plenty of opportunities for him to bash everybody, anybody, and he hasn't.
He's backed him 100%, which is kudos to him. You do
I wouldn't say he necessarily backed him, but like has never bashed anybody though either. And then he comes out and he lets his play do the talk. And I don't know. I don't have anything really to say on it. Like it's crazy that there's been back-to-back weeks now that he wasn't in big time scenarios for with a game on the line. And I honestly I just really hope I hope the Browns trade him. I hope he gets someplace that he is wanted.
Yeah.
Because like the Browns fans, they want him. They want him to succeed, but it feels like the organization is feeling some kind of way. Like there's nobody. Andy Reid isn't taking Patrick Mahomes off. Josh Allen ain't coming off the field. Aaron Rodgers ain't coming off the field. When you need 2 points, you ain't coming off the field. You're putting the ball in the quarterback's hand and like make a play. You have five. Like, I think he had 4 touchdowns, 3 passing, 1 rushing, 1 pick. I'm going to let him decide if we go to OT or not. I'm not going to run a reverse fake throw back across the field, tackle, interception, whatever the fuck happened. Like, no, I'm putting the ball in my quarterback's hand that's been lights out, and I'm going to live and die with that. Any out of all 31 teams would do that outside the Browns.
Yeah. It was horrifying to watch. It was definitely the most. I just don't understand it.
Could you imagine if Josh Allen, Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, Matthew Stafford, Baker Mayfield wasn't on the Jalen Hurts wasn't on the field for the tying 2-point conversion?
These fans would riot. Buffalo fans
Any fans would riot. But here we are with the Browns, and they're like, yeah.
It's horrifying. It's just horrifying. I feel for Joe because it took away from a beautiful potential moment for him that ended in like him sitting over there. Just you could see the look on his face on the side, like, what? Like even he was confused.
Like, why would I not want an opportunity to tie this game up and go to overtime with a guy that he's known his whole life? Well, not his whole life, but he grew up competitively through high school in Cam Ward. Not necessarily going against, but grew up and through camps knowing him, and in high school and in college knowing him, and then they work out together, have opportunity to beat him. Instead, now the Titans and Cam Ward have one up on Shador and the Browns.
Yeah,
and he didn't even have opportunity to try and tie it after he had 3 darts in the end zone. Like they were dart throws.
They were beautiful throws. Beautiful throws. But that was the Browns-Titans game. The other game from Week 14 was the Lions and Cowboys, and Lions did win that game by 14. The only bad outcome for the Cowboys was George Pickens didn't have his best game on the offensive side of the ball, obviously. For the Lions, I brought this up to Brandon during the week. Jahmyr Gibbs is not getting enough talk, I believe, in the MVP conversation. Granted, we both agreed that they would give it to him, that he's in whatnot because of where he plays and the talent that is around him. But I think Jahmyr Gibbs deserves some type of love in MVP conversation. Considered he's had multiple games of 200-plus rushing yards with 3 touchdowns. And when Detroit gets into a pickle, what do? It's Gibbs. It's not Amon St.
Give the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs.
Give the ball to Gibbs.
He is the engine that makes the Lions go, and they finally fully have unleashed Gibbs. They've dialed back Montgomery, and they've let Gibbs unleash this year, and it's rightfully so that Gibbs, from about week 10 on, has really deserved that MVP talk, being in the top 5 candidacy. Considering there's no quarterback outside of Matthew Stafford that deserves any kind of talk. It's either at the running back position, Taylor, CMC, Gibbs, or Jackson Smith-Njigba from the Seattle Seahawks wide receiver.
Like, come on now.
Outside of those skilled guys, it's Matthew Stafford at quarterback. There's no other quarterback that deserves to be in this conversation, and Gibbs deserves to have his name put in that conversation.
I don't know if we were walking in or walking around like, man, Gibbs really deserves some love. Man, I'm sitting here looking.
He's having a career year.
like he's up there with Barry Sanders. Like they're literally talking about his numbers and all these, statistics, and I'm like, damn, dude, like dude. But unfortunately, he's probably not going to get that love
No.
yet. It's a
Well, it's unfortunate he's on. That's not unfortunate, but like the Lions are still looked down upon because they haven't really accomplished anything.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Lions are to my mind, they're a staple, and Gibbs deserves all the love that you can get. And I think at the end of the year, I think he will be in the top 5 MVP candidacy.
Definitely. Before we move on into the 14-week review, I forgot to mention we need to talk about a situation that just arose upon us this week, the Joe Burrow situation that took place. This is, if you are a Cincinnati Bengals fan, you got to be a little bit scared. And I quote from Joe Burrow, if I want to keep doing this, I have to have fun doing it. I've been through a lot. If it's not fun, then what am I doing it for? There's just a lot of things going on right now. That's a scary quote. And Jamar Chase thought that shit was AI. He was like, Joe Burrow didn't say none of that. What do you mean? No, that's real. And there's a lot of things you can make from this. Is he considering retirement? Is he considering maybe it's time to get out of Cincinnati? Like, there's a lot of. What do you make of this, Brandon? Because this is a.
So I'm gonna throw you. I'm gonna throw you some stuff and let you go continue on. One, Andrew Luck got sacked less than Joe Burrow has been in about 16 games. Joe Burrow's been sacked more than Andrew Luck with 16 games less played than Andrew Luck. Yep. Andrew Luck retired because of injuries and being hit so much and sacked. Second of all, after this following season, so 2026 season, there is zero guaranteed money left on Joe Burrow's deal with Cincinnati. So that contract, there is zero dead money left involved really rolling into next year. Next year, he becomes hellaciously tradable contract-wise.
Yep. And it's a possibility. I don't know what route this is going to go because when you start saying stuff like this is a guy that's been, of his last 3 years, 2 of those years he's been hurt massively. It cost him all the time. Last year he played. We can be honest. He would have made the playoffs. He probably would have been MVP. His numbers, he would have been the MVP without question. He balled out. Think about it. He balled out. Missed the playoffs. Now, when you have to go out there and put up basically 40 points a game because your defense can't stop.
Well, you put up 40 points and you still lose.
It's like, goddamn. And this year was it game 1, game 2?
Game 2, he got hurt.
Game 2, he got hurt and just came back.
He sprained his big toe.
Had to have surgery. I mean, you go back to 3 years ago, he had the wrist injury that put him out. So Burrow's been through, since he held his rookie year towards ACL. So Burrow's pretty much been hurt every year except 1 year of his career.
Well, to me, the Bengals have a little bit of history of losing franchise quarterbacks. Carson Palmer was the last franchise quarterback they had that threatened retirement unless you trade me, and they did him dirty, and they traded him off to the Raiders, and he was able to hit free agency, and then was able to sign with the Cardinals and played for another about 8 to 10 years with the Cardinals, made an NFC Championship game, had a great, second, career there with the Cardinals. Yeah. And it's kind of sounding like I have a tough time. So it sounds like Joe Burrow's wanting the organization to do more, help him win, help with the O-line, get a better defense. But that's what it sounds like he wants. But from the outside looking in, I'm like, you got everything you want. Like, they've tried for the O-line. They swung and they've missed. You wanted Jamar Chase paid. He said wasn't going to take nothing less. Got it. You wanted T. Higgins to stay. You got it. And
you were unwilling to take a discount.
You didn't take no discount, and you got the money. And so here we are. We spent all the money on the offense side of the ball. We have no defense. So this is what you get.
Yeah.
And so if I'm the Bengals, I'm like the front office, I'm like, what do you want? Everything you asked, we gave you. You wanted weapons. We gave you your weapons. Yep. And so we had no money to pay the defensive young guys that came up to be paid. We didn't have money to pay them because we had to pay you. We knew we had to pay Jamar. We went and we got you a left tackle. We got you a right tackle. We got you a guard. Like we paid the old line. It hasn't paid out.
No.
And then it comes back to that he's still getting hit more at a higher percentage rate than Joe Flacco was.
Yeah.
So is it him or is it the system?
Those times.
And I'm starting to think it's more of a him thing than it is a system thing because the systems seem to be the same. Feed the ball to your two studs and get it out quickly. And it seems like he's still struggling with said system.
Yeah.
And but like I said, no, like you got what you wanted. So to ask to demand a trade because you're not giving me what I want, that's some crazy ass work.
It is. It is. But we'll have to stay tuned that this is a very, again, the story's still kind of developing. Well, not really developing, but it's out there. And
If I'm a Bengals fan, I'm scared that either A, he's traded, or B, he's going to retire soon.
he's going to, yeah. And
Especially if he gets banged up, like if he gets hurt this season or a la next season, and he's like, you know what, I'm tired of being hurt. This isn't fun because he's not having fun.
you know, mind you, so again, going back to the Week 14 review, this is coming off the game he had against the Buffalo Bills, where they were up 28-18 with basically 8 minutes and 40 seconds left in that game, and they lost that game 39-34. He threw 2 picks in the fourth quarter, like damn near back to back.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there. That was wild.
Granted, the pick six was a hellacious play.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, like the dude caught it, and I was like, oh, he tipped it. I'm like, oh shit, he caught that ball. Like that was a hell of a.
Bam, it's gone. And
like
so
that was hellaciously athletic.
Unfortunate, man. Again, this is something we're going to pay close attention because that would be. I mean, that would be up there. I mean, going into 4 years, no playoffs now. It's potentially looking like for Joe Burrow and for a guy that's been,
And I do feel like he's kind of looking at what his legacy is kind of looking like. He's looking like a kind of not necessarily like a buzz, but a little bit of buzz, injury prone. He's starting not to really have fun. I mean, he has his boy Jamar Chase, but like not really having fun. He's spending more time on the sideline, rehabbing, trying to get right, dealing with injuries than he is playing the game that he loves.
Been unfortunate, so it's definitely something we're going to stay.
And I don't think anybody wants Joe Burrow to retire
I
young,
don't even want
like Andrew Luck retired. Nobody wants a talent like that to retire young. But like, if you're not having fun and you're always consistently hurt, playing through injuries.
This at you. Joe Burrow requested a trade. What team would you like to see go get Joe Burrow? Where would you like to see Joe Burrow?
So, like, I mean, that'd be fast forwarding through like into the off season. Yeah, I mean, you would think like Steelers would be an option. Matthew, if the Rams potentially, win the Super Bowl this year, and Matthew Stafford retires, the Rams would be a landing spot. The Dolphins could be a landing spot.
Okay.
So I mean, I wouldn't even put it past the Eagles making some weird ass trade where they flop Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow. No. I honestly, I don't even know what the Falcons are doing. Like, to be honest, no, not the Falcons. But
could the Vikings take a swing at
the
that?
Vikings would be a great landing spot. Send JJ McCarthy that way. Dump that dumpster fire there and pay him with his other LSU wide receiver with Jetta.
So him and Jetta together, that'd be scary. I'd like to see
that. That'd be great too. I would like that'd be.
He'd go back into a different situation. He'd have his former LSU team and Jordan Addison. You'd have his Chase with a great team around him. Yeah. So
which is where he flourished with LSU with a great team around him.
Yeah.
On both sides of the ball.
So, yeah, let us know where you think Joe Burrow is going to do.
I would like to like personally. Where I think he would flourish and just like would be unstoppable would be the Rams.
Yeah, no, the Rams.
You got Adams, Puka, Kyron Williams in the backfield. Yeah. That O-line, that young defense that's emerging with that young mind at head coach.
And then Sean McVay together.
That young mind.
That'd be crazy. So, we'll keep an eye on that for you guys as it comes along. Next game up from Week 14 was the Seahawks and Falcons. Seahawks dominated that game 37-9. Then we had the Colts and Jags. Obviously, Daniel Jones goes down in that game. Jags take that game. Then there was the Commanders and Vikings. After the Vikings get blown out the week before, They come back and bagel the Commanders. Daniels is hurt, gets hurt again. He hurts an elbow. He is not playing this week either. He is ruled out. Might as well just shut the young man down. And
If he was still that fragile, that still semi-injury
Shouldn't have been
prone, shouldn't have been out there.
then you had the Saints and the Bucks, and the Bucks lost to the Saints. Didn't see that one coming. Then you had the Steelers and Ravens. Steelers won that game. They're like, I don't know if you call it controversy, the Isaiah Likely touchdown that
That's
wasn't
a
a touchdown.
0% controversy.
People
They
were calling
explained it. Well, the people are stupid. They completely explained it when it happened, why it was not a touchdown. Yes, he caught the ball. Yes, he had 2 feet. But to secure possession, you have to make a third move, a third step, or something with the ball, and he did not
Should've fell
do
down.
that. Oh, when he fell down,
should've-
if he fell down, the ball wouldn't have got punched
Yeah,
out.
it just fell
The
down.
Steeler defender made a great play on the ball. He caught it. 1 step, 2 step, ball punched out. So, like, you can either choose incomplete, fumble in the end zone, where then it would be recovered by the Steelers. So, like, you can, I guess, you can pick what you wanted.
That's what people are. Then you had the Dolphins and Jets. Dolphins won that game, 34-10. Then you had the Broncos and Raiders game. That was 24-17. That was a little fishy at the end. The Raiders covered the spread with a late field goal. Vegas always has a way of getting what they want.
I just know, like, this Broncos offense, I don't trust worth a damn of
No.
anything.
No.
Defense legit. Sean Payton, honestly, like, I think it's time that people dial back the greatness of Sean Payton, but because like he's offensive minded, and this offense does not look
It's not
great. And honestly, if I'm any team, because obviously the Chiefs won't be making the playoffs, if I'm any team in the AFC, I want the Broncos in the first round. I want the Broncos early, and because like I think it's a good matchup for pretty much almost anybody, because that offense is not going to generate points. If I can get a 2-score lead on you,
It's panic.
I like my chances of you not being able to catch me.
Then there was Rams Cardinals. Rams won that game 45-17.
The great bounce back for
Great
them.
bounce back from Matthew Stafford after last week's hot streak cooled down, pick back. Then there was the Bears and the Packers. Packers won this game 28-21. And the final play, Caleb Williams, they did a great trickery. Caleb Williams really should have just ran for the first down, but he tried to, put it up there, and it was way short, intercepted, and that was the game. So
Caleb Williams has. I wish the Pope was a fan of the Chiefs. I like there's a force helping the Bears. I don't understand the Bears. Caleb Williams has been carried. It's been a team effort to win games. He had the running back in the flat open. He had the run, and then he threw it. I'm like, where the hell are you?
Back-footed too. It was a horrible.
When he threw it, I'm like, where are you throwing this? Okay, well, to nobody.
When I initially the play happened, I'm like, run, just run,
Just
run,
go.
just
Yeah.
go. And I'm like, and then they replay. I'm like, damn, you had the run, you're running back, you had the guy open, but you kind of like Dirk Nowitzki stepped back to try to throw the damn ball. Like, what were you doing? What was
The guy he threw
mindset?
to the end zone was hellaciously not open. I'm pretty sure he even had his tied in behind the running back that was open farther, like towards like the numbers,
There was
and
options, and he chose the wrong.
I thought he was hellacious running it and didn't. And you know what? The Packers still on the Bears.
Yep, and then we had the Chiefs and the Texans game. Texans did win that game 20-10. Just another, again, it's going to sound cliche, but calls kind of amplified that stopped momentum. We did go for it on 4th down twice. Did not pick either of those up. Anything else you really want to add?
I just want to give a shout out to the Chiefs' second, third practice squad O-line players that locked down that D line of the Texans. I think they ended up getting 2 sacks, and they locked Daniel Hunter strapped.
Will Anderson Jr. strapped.
And so, like, shout out to that D line. Honestly, like, might as well just start that O line the rest of the season, because they locked down the probably second best pass rush in the NFL this year. So shout out to the Chiefs O line, and it's just unfortunate Rashee Rice drops the pass. Travis Kelce, who's still hellaciously dominant this year, even though his potential retirement is looming. the dude's still a top 3 tight end in the league.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's just kind of been one of those years. And I agree with what Travis Kelce said on his podcast that they just can't seem to just find the answer. It's
Yeah.
just, they just were, I mean, the fans were, everybody's just kind of looking like for the answer. And it's just, for whatever reason, it's just not there. And it's, when we need it, it's not. And when the calls go your way, and when it's questionable, then it doesn't go your way either. It doesn't help. But
Eats momentum away.
it does. But at the end of the day, like, we have the opportunities to make plays that we've always made in the Mahomes era, and it just hasn't happened. And just before we get off, even if the Chiefs don't make the playoffs, we have a 60% chance we could fall into the playoffs. We get back into it. We could win out and get help and get in. I still think the dynasty is completely hellaciously alive. After Brady won his 3 Super Bowls, they didn't make it for
a decade.
It's about 10 years.
And Brady did miss the playoffs twice.
And
at that time.
Again, yes, that's true. But like in the Mahomes era and the Andy Reid era, 9 straight division titles, played in 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls, and we have, out of the 5 of the 6 Super Bowls we've been in, we won 3 of them. So we've been spoiled. We only thing we know is winning, and
all we know is an AC championship game, no less. That's all we really know.
And like, it's not over until the fat lady sinks. 16%, still 16%. All we needed was 13 seconds to beat Buffalo, so it's not over till we said it's done. We get the Chargers this weekend at noon at Arrowhead at negative 20 degrees weather, so it plays into our hands to start getting a step in the right direction. We dug a hole for ourselves, but I mean, what?
Never say never. Is what you said.
Pretty much.
Then the next game up from last week was the Eagles and Chargers that went to overtime. Jalen, mind you, we got to talk about this. Jalen Hurts becomes the first player since 1978 to commit 2 turnovers on one play. He threw an interception. That guy fumbled it. Jalen Hurts picked it back up, and then he fumbled it. Committed 2 turnovers in one play. First player to do that since 78. God damn, that's unfortunate. Jalen Hurts had a horrifying game as well. 4 interceptions in totality and a fumble. Wasn't great, but they only lost by 3 in OT. He threw a pick.
But what does that say more about? So they had, like, what was it, 5
turnovers?
5 turnovers the Eagles had. Lost by 3 to the Chargers. So who does that say more about? The Chargers got lucky that they got 5 turnovers and they won by 3 in overtime, or the Chargers are just that good that they got 5 turnovers and they were able to win by 3. I feel like if you get 5 turnovers, you should win by
at least 3 touchdowns. At least
I feel like you should win by double digits.
For sure.
Not be good.
No overtime.
There should be 0 overtime, and so the fact that the media, the commentators were like gushing over Herbert.
I would say this: they want. I think the media and partially the NFL wants Herbert to be like that guy. I feel like they're trying.
Well, he fits the profile, but like they really push him like, oh, he's just a winner. He's just that dude. I'm like, if he's that dude and he's a winner, why did you take overtime to beat the Eagles team? They gave you 5 turnovers. And second of all, why did he treat the media like that after the game?
Yeah, it was a weird thing.
That was very weird. He pretty much just tried to disregard the media member, and she handled it great. And like, that's really hella weird. Like, you have the whole time after that to celebrate with your team.
You know, as the franchise QB, that after the game, like, you have to do those. Like, that's standard.
And he really kind of tried to dismiss her, and he pretty much did. But
she stood her ground like a professional. Shout out to her.
She did great. Shout out to her and ESPN, or whoever was really covering it. But I just have a lot more questions on how people think that the Eagles 5 turnovers and they would lose by 3. I think the Eagles will take that. Point blank. I'll take that.
Yeah,
I'll lose by 3 and I have 5 turnovers.
Absolutely.
Shit.
And then moving on to Week 15. Thursday Night Football was last night. Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons. And if you had Kyle Pitts, hopefully you had him in your starting lineup.
Shit.
This dude balled out, 3 tutties, 11 receptions, 166 yards.
I just know if you've never watched a game of football and you never watched Kyle Pitts ever and you saw him play, you think that's the best tight end in NFL history right there. Like, you ain't wrong.
This has been unfortunate for Bucs fans. Baker Mayfield was hellaciously in the MVP conversation early on in the year, and it's just, this is unfortunate for the Bucs. Back-to-back bad losses.
Yeah.
You lose to the Saints,
Bad.
That's no. Like
That's big bad.
Bad. Then you lose to the Falcons, who've already been eliminated too. That's bad.
Yeah.
Bad. Now the Panthers are top of their division right now. Who would have thought you'd have been saying that shit?
Same way with the Bears being like winning the at the
They
top.
went 1 seed to 7 seed that quickly.
The fact that the Bears have a winning record fucks me up.
Yeah.
So
what fucks me up that when you go to pick games, you're like, I guess give me the Bears. So,
yeah.
Whose week is it this week? I think it's your week because last week was me. So I'm gonna go you. We're gonna go you.
Okay.
So we got Ravens and Bengals at noon.
Honestly,
Joe Burrow's fragile right now.
give me. I don't trust the Ravens. Give me the Bengals. Give me that offense against that Ravens defense. Give me the Bengals.
Okay, we're going Bengals there. Then at noon we got Raiders and Eagles. Eagles coming off a 5 turnover game and only losing by 3.
You
got the Raiders who are probably going to start Gardner Minshew.
You could legitimately give me 10 turnovers, and I'm still taking the Eagles.
Fair enough. Then you got the Texans and Cardinals at noon as well.
I'm taking the Texans defense.
That's fair. Chiefs Chargers at noon in 20-degree weather.
You gotta rock. I'm still rocking the Chiefs.
That favors us.
They're at home with that cold weather. I mean, maybe Kareem Hunt cracks some couple helmets. I don't know.
Then this game's at noon, and it should not be at noon, Roger Goodell. We got Patriots and Buffalo Bills. This is a huge game right here, and it's at fucking noon. That
should have been flexed to prime time.
Absolutely. I want to watch that game. Like we were talking about, I want to watch that game, but we can't.
I'm taking the Patriots.
Taking the Patriots?
I'm taking the Patriots.
Then you got the Jets and Jags at noon.
Well, that's the Jags.
Okay. Commanders and Giants at noon.
I mean, I'm gonna have to go.
Jalen Davis is not playing for the Commanders. He's out.
I'm honestly like, give me Jameis Winston. Give me the Giants. Give me Jameis Winston.
Okay. Then we got the Browns and Bears at noon.
Well, you got Shador making. Then it's probably Shador's hardest opponent.
Okay.
But give me the Bears.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know how to pick against the Bears, but give me the Bears.
You got this game. It takes place at 3:25. Panthers and Saints.
Well, the Panthers, they play up to their opponents, and then they're ass against ass. So give me the Saints. Honestly, like, that's the best. That's a safe bet. If you're betting, take the points for the Saints, because the Saints will cover it against that shit.
Then the next game at 3:25, Lions and Rams.
Give me Matthew Stafford. Give me the Rams.
Rams, okay. Then another game at 3:25. Probably Philip Rivers making his first start in 5 years. Colts Seahawks.
I mean, as much as I like.
How do you game film for a guy that hasn't played in 5 years? Like, how do you game plan for that as a Seahawks?
I think honestly, I get like my personal opinion. I'm gonna give somebody about $50,000, get a roughing the passer penalty, knock the shit out of him. I'm gonna pull some Saints, bounty gate shit, but I'm taking the Seahawks.
Seahawks, all right. Then another game at 3:25, we got Packers and Broncos.
Go Packers.
Go Packers.
Go Packers.
Absolutely.
Go Pack.
Next game at 3:25, Titans and Niners.
Yeah, that's Niners.
And then the nighttime game. That should not be the nighttime game at 7:20 p.m. Cowboys and Vikings. What the fuck?
That shit should have been flexed out so hard. That's so hard. Should have been flexed out for the Bills and the Bills and Patriots game. Should have been flexed so hard.
It gets worse. The Monday night game. Dolphins and Steelers.
Well, the Sunday night game, give me the Cowboys, and then Monday night too.
Dolphins and Steelers.
Well, the Dolphins' playoff hopes are on the line with their lowest percentage like us.
That they like to keep putting in there.
Well, I mean, we're in the same boat,
Yep.
so now, but give me Aaron Rodgers, broken nose in the Steelers against the Dolphins.
T.J. Watt probably not going to be in that game after another medical malpractice.
Yeah, so you guys don't know, T.J. Watt got a lung puncture by the medical staff of the Steelers, got brought to the ER, has a collapse, I think, left lung.
Yep.
So he's questionable to play, probably won't play with his collapsed lung. That's now the second time in the past about 5 years
Last time happened to Tyrod Taylor.
that a player got injured by the medical staff that's supposed to help you recover via needle a la a syringe.
Yeah, not great. But those are our Brandon's picks. We'll see you guys next week. Happy holidays.